Hello everyone, this is Dungeon Master Global coming at you with another video. This time, it's going to be another dungeon delve. But we're actually going to do something different than the other ones, and this is going to be actual dungeon. Alright. The premise is, your characters in a remote town somewhere, village or something around that size, maybe even a hamlet if you like. You can adjust town size to suit your need, but it works best with a small remote town. And they are contracted to find some bandits that have been pillaging supply routes. Or you can have them just stumble across the cave, any way you want to do it. They, somehow, you get your players into a cave. Not too terribly far from the village, but far enough that a villager might not stumble onto it. And they go to the cave. It has a couple of traps, nothing too sophisticated in there. And, or you can make sophisticated traps if you want to do a higher level campaign. They come across the bandits. You can put whatever you want in front of the bandits down there. I put, I think it was some orcs. Yeah, I put some orcs and an orc cleric. You can do whatever you want down there to suit your character's level. But the thing is, there's a magically sealed door down there that these orcs are trying to open. And the players stumble across them just as the orcs crack the door open. The battle ensues, or they can try to diplomatize with them if anybody can speak Orcish, especially if your players maybe want to strike a deal with the orcs. They would be willing to work, or whoever you put down there. Well, that's how it was in my game, but the main thing is what's behind the door. After they deal with the orcs or whoever, if they can choose to go down through the door or not, and what they do, it's about a 30-minute walk leading them deep underground through like what looks like an ancient highway, but underground. If anybody's ever played the Dragon Age game series, it looks kind of like the Deep Roads, except not lit, so it's pitch black down there. Think Mines of Moria for Lord of the Rings fans, except a long hall, a giant hall. It looks like it could fit a good amount of traffic, about the same size of an above ground highway. And once they finally get there, they come up to these massive gates made of pure bronze, wide open, and they depict dwarves on them and gnomes, but there are no heroes nor deities that your characters would recognize, unless you're running a very high level campaign. Then they will recognize them as a lost city. The city down here has been lost for hundreds of years, sealed off and forgotten. If your characters choose to continue venturing in, they will come across an abandoned city, entire underground city with not a single light source, so they better bring torches or have dark vision. And it's just completely abandoned. And make them scared. They're supposed to be like more of a horror feel, because they hear things every now and then, but they're not sure what it is. Maybe skittering, something scurrying across, something like that. And then they can choose to explore the buildings. They'll find a few leftover valuables, maybe a couple of coins and stuff. They're going to be entering in the poor-ish district. It's more of the closer to lower middle class than poor. But if they ever decide to stop for any extended time or split up, then that's when you can get them. Or they continue deeper on, but I'll talk about that later. If they stop or split up, they are assaulted by these creatures called meanlocks. They're in the second monster manual. If you don't have that, then you can improvise. Essentially, I made a custom type. They have little claws, and they can burn. They look like monstrosities, hideous creatures, about the size of gnomes or short dwarves. And they have these little claws. In my modified version, the claws did 1d4 acid damage as well, which could burn through armor. You can modify this as much as you want. Mine was for a level 3 adventure party, and they also had acid blood, kind of like Aliens off the Aliens movie, which could do splash damage, 1d4 acid damage again. And like I said, you can modify this to do more or less, or you can just change the creatures completely. But they fear light. They'll only go near it if there's an entire swarm of them, and it's one lone person. But if there's a group of people and they don't at least outnumber them probably 3 to 1, then they wouldn't go near them if they had a torch or some bright light. Anyways, they have mind tricks. They can, ensue fear, drive people insane from a distance and everything, just whispering to them and whatnot. They'll try to do that at first, even when the party's together, and that's something you can use to evoke fear. Make sure the whispers are spooky and everything like that. Maybe make your rolls in secret or beforehand of who they're going to target. And if combat does ensue, they're not going to kill. They're going to try their best to bound them. Somehow bind them, somehow. They're going to try to incapacitate them and drag them away. They have many, many holes in the city. And including along that road, if the lone player tries to escape or something along those lines, they will be able to cut them off on the road. This city holds about 500 of them. I wouldn't shove all 500 of your players at one time, but I'm just saying 500 so that your players get a real sense of a swarm mentality. These things are everywhere. They don't all come at one time, but the longer the players stay in one place, if they feel they want to stay an entire night or day in one building, start sieging them with wave after wave. You have mean locks to spare here. You have over 500, maybe more if you want, at your disposal, and just make your players feel pressed, like they cannot stay in one place for too long. And also make it like like they're being hunted type feel. If they're not in a group, make it very dangerous for them. If they try to leave, the mean locks will let them if they're in a group and they have light. If they try to leave alone, then unless they have a very strong light source, then the mean locks almost likely attack them. Mean locks usually travel, the ones I made up, you can adjust this, travel in packs of 3 to 5. You can adjust this for bigger or smaller parties. That just fit well with what my party was. So they could have a decent amount of counters but not be overwhelmed. And there's plenty of lost treasures down here and everything, but I'll get to that later on. And the mean locks, eventually players will come to a crossroads which leads to the left and to the right and straight ahead. To the left is another one of the upper middle class. To the right is like a poor district type thing. And then straight ahead is going to be another highway with another open gate, which goes on about 30 minutes, which is still in the same city, but it's segregated. Not 30 minutes, about 15 minutes, and it's segregated from the poor people, and it's going to be the richy, markety district type thing. If they go to the right, the district's flooded, and there's a hole in the dwarven architecture that leads deeper into the underdark, but you can do a bunch of stuff with that if you like. I had some mushroom people living in there who have had trouble with the mean locks that your player's going to lie with. Also, there's plenty of hidden goodies throughout the waters, and also had a strange water creature, which is like a slime that's adapted to blending in with water and whatnot. And then also there's a ghostly entity haunting the city that it's like a mutant ghost looking abomination creature, and if your players can ever get alone for an extended period of time and the mean locks don't get them, then this creature will come for them. But yep, okay, yeah, just making a video. Anyways, everybody, that was my grandpa coming in, checking on me, telling me good morning. Yeah, it's pretty early, but anyways, the mutant creatures will be just, look, there's only one of them in the entire city, and it should be about 2 levels above your party. So it should provide a great challenge for a solo person, maybe even an insurmountable one which makes them run, and there should be like almost a boss encounter for your entire party if they can find it. Same thing with the creature in the water, whatever you choose it to be. And if you go into the Underdark, I also had there's a drow raiding party there. If you go back to the other side, upper middle class, there's some orcs there who or goblins or kobolds or whatever you want, who have adapted to life underground, and they explored the city from the hole in the Underdark, and now they've set up a small barricade there, and they've been living there, and the Meanlocks have been assaulting them, but they know the Meanlocks how their hidey holes all about, and their barricade does little to stop them. And the Meanlocks will soon overwhelm them if your players don't make an alliance with them or kill them themselves. They've only been there for a couple of days, and the Meanlocks have been scouting them out, and they have dark vision, so they don't need fire, and they don't know Meanlocks are scared of fire, so the Meanlocks will soon, they're going to launch a swarm attack on them. So if your players kill them or ally with them and make resonance there, make a big battle scene of the Meanlocks swarming from like hidden crevices, or taking anybody who's asleep, dragging them off into their holes and whatnot, and retreating unless there's nearby people to attack. But this video is getting pretty lengthy, so I think that'll be the first part. This is going to be the first 2-part dungeon delve. That's going to be about the poor districts and the middle class districts. I'll make a separate part for the Underdark portion, for the upper portion, and for the castle. I don't know if they're all going to be separate like in that order, but I know that I'm going to cover them in a different video. So, alright guys, this is Dungeon Master Loba signing off. Remember to like, subscribe, favorite if you liked the video, dislike it if you didn't, and feel free to leave ways I can improve my video quality in the future. This is Dungeon Master Loba signing off. Everyone have a nice day.